Hey everyone, welcome back to another DesignSpark Electrical tutorial and overview video. The last video we covered was about the symbols manager. This time we're going to work with our manufacturer parts manager. In particular, we're going to create a part based off of the symbol we used in the last video. So the first thing we want to do is open up our manufacturer parts manager. What I personally like to do is I like to select the classification of where this part is going to go and select add manufacturer part. If we notice based on that selection of the classification, it automatically added it to the connectors classification here. I can change it, but it's just one of those ways of making sure that I'm putting it into the right class ahead of time. That way I don't skip it and can't find the part later on. The two pieces of information that are absolutely required when creating a new manufacturer part are our reference number and also our manufacturer name. Again, you have to have classification as well, but that is automatically defaulted in here. And you can add it to a library. In this case here, I'm just going to add it to the user library. Depending on the type of part it is, there are different types of parts inside of DesignSpark Electrical. In this case here, we're going to create a base part. But in reality, maybe we have a connector that has the housing and the pins and a back shell and an extender and a piece of heat shrink. Well, those are all different types of parts. They're not all considered the base component. Those are auxiliaries and accessories as well. So it just makes sense to understand these ahead of time so that if I am working with a contactor and then I need to add an additional manufacturer part that is the attachment to a contactor, that block that gets added to the front, that would be an auxiliary component to the base. So knowing this ahead of time will help make your bill of materials more robust down the road as you finish out your project. So for this, I'm going to start with a base. Article number is what I like to use for my own internal part numbers. So if reference number, if you don't want your customer to know the actual manufacturer part numbers, you can assign your own article number here, so they have to contact you for the parts. You also have the ability to add a data sheet, the specific data sheet for this part, and hyperlink it to an existing library you have on your computer if needed. You can add a description, a commercial reference as well, and then of course your supplier. So RS Components or Allied Electronics, you can add that in here, and the stock number for this particular part. Moving right along, we have the ability to add graphical representations of this manufacturer part. So we can add a line diagram, a schematic symbol, a 3D part. In this case here, DesignSpark Electrical does not connect to a 3D tool. You would need Solidworks Electrical to do that. You have a 2D footprint, you have connection label, and even a printed circuit board file. Right now, the only one that I have connected to this or can potentially connect to this is my schematic symbol, the one we have in the background that's still open in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. I'm going to find that 8-pin connector symbol that I want to connect. And now every time I use this manufacturer part, when I've added it to my component tree, I can now select that component and right click insert symbol, and this symbol will automatically appear. So it's connected back and forth. So again, if you remember from the last video, we went in and I had the ability to add manufacturer part information to the symbol. Same thing applies here where I can add symbol information to the manufacturer part. Moving right along, we have the ability to add the spec information, the height, width, depth of this particular part. We can also add usage and control voltages and frequencies. We have the ability to add additional user data about this part. Maybe there's specific information that is required based on its use. And then we have the ability to create or add the circuits and terminals. So on the left-hand side of the screen, where we have the symbol still open in the background, I can see the different circuits and terminals that are associated to that symbol. I would want to try to match these up as closely as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a new circuit. And if you notice, when I add a new circuit, the first type of circuit that appears is a black box. Now, nothing says I can use black box if I need to. And quite frankly, there's a lot of different types of circuits in here that I can choose from. So if I'm working with a PLC or I'm working with a power supply, I may want to choose the appropriate type of terminal. Now, when I go to add this to my schematic, I can set these to connect automatically. If I choose terminal, it's going to recognize that the symbol is a terminal and that the manufacturer part is a terminal, and it's going to automatically connect. If I have it set to something other than terminal, it'll still allow me to connect, but I have to manually override that later. And we'll get into that in a later video, but I want to point that out now because when you're creating manufacturer parts, it's a lot easier to do it one time than having to go back and edit everything later on. So in this case here, I'm going to leave it as a terminal, and I have one circuit, and I'm going to go ahead and add my 3 terminals for that one circuit. Underneath this, I have the ability to now create different marks. So maybe in this case here, it can be 1, 2, 3, or maybe it's A, B, C, or if it's something like a contactor, maybe it's 13 and 14, so on and so forth. So I have the ability to change that, and that will be what appears on my schematic. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and leave them 1, 2, 3. I also have the ability to define the orientation. Is this always going to be an incoming or an outgoing circuit? I personally leave it undefined for a majority of my connectors. And then I also have the ability to add even more information about each one of these connection points in my circuit here. So how many wires can connect to each connection point? Typically 1, but maybe 2. We have the ability to add additional information on mnemonic as well. I can add a maximum and minimum wire gauge. So in the case of this, maybe it's 16 gauge and it's 24 gauge for our input wires that are connected to this. So there's a lot of information that I can add to every single one of these terminals that are inside of our circuit. If I desire, now I can go in and I can add my next circuit. And circuit 1 doesn't have any terminals, so I don't even need to add any, but we get the idea of how we would go in and build this particular manufacturer part out. Once I finish building all this out, and I can have as many as I need to, I would simply come back and hit OK. And now that manufacturer part is a part of my library. From here, now I can go ahead and I can copy this and edit it, make a duplicate and change certain features. Maybe I have different revisions of this connector. I can archive this symbol out and share this with other DesignSpark Electrical users as well. So I hope this helped. I hope I gave some tips and tricks in there on creating some valuable tips and tricks in there, uh, for creating your manufacturer parts. Again, we will get into a little bit more detail with this, and I will show you some of these things I was talking about those connectors, those connection points actually making that automatic connection when we get into building our project out. So again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. See you next time.